Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you're now tuned into the Investor Show as always. This is your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from a beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys and girls don't have a lot of time, so we're going to jump straight into it. Y'all give me 1 second. That's weird, but okay. But thank y'all for tuning in. For people that's catching this live, we're going to have a very interesting episode today. And I got a very special treat for you guys and girls. Today, we're going to try it out for the first time. We're going to be talking about Southwest Airlines, and we're going to be talking about Delta Airlines. So y'all give me 1 second here. Where are we right now? I'm going to put my description here. So we're going to have a very good topic today. We're in the midst of earnings seasons, and today Southwest Airlines came out with their earnings, their quarterly earnings. So Southwest Airlines came out with their quarterly earnings. Also, Delta Airlines came out with their quarterly earnings last week. So I was able to do a little comparison of Southwest Airline and Delta. So I always kind of had my eyes on the airline stock, but I told you guys and girls I wanted to wait until we saw the earnings report. Now we see the earnings report, so now we're going to be able to make a better investment decision than we were before, right? So y'all give me 1 second here. So as you're coming in, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to jump into the roll call at the 3-minute mark, like always. So if you're coming in, say, hey, where you from? All of the great stuff like that. So there we go. So y'all come in, y'all say hi. At the 3-minute mark, we're going to announce a roll call. Then we're going to jump straight into the show. It's going to be an excellent show today. We're going to talk about Southwest Airlines versus Delta Airlines. And we're going to do a breakdown to see who's the winner. At the end, I'm going to tell you guys who I think is the winner and the company that I made an investment into today based off of the information that I saw and things like that to take advantage of the airline industry. And the reason why I chose Delta and Southwest, pretty big names, and they're both they're in the same sector. They've both taken a very huge hit, massive hit due to the coronavirus. They're like the top two companies that are up there. So now we're at the 3-minute mark. Also, let me double check something to make sure it is on. 1 second here. I'm sorry about this, guys. So yeah, definitely as you're coming in, please make sure you say hello. All right. Let me see what we got here. There we go. So, all right. Let's go ahead and acknowledge that roll call. Glad that you guys and girls are in. So the first one that we have up here, we got Dan from Long Island says, thanks for all the TD Ameritrade how to use videos. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy those videos. A lot of tutorials here on TD Ameritrade and E-Trade. They're currently the number 1 and 2 players, brokers. So I'm glad you enjoy. I'm glad I can help you out, Dan from Long Island. Alua, she's saying hi. Nice to meet you too. Thank you for joining us. Eric says, hi, Prince, coming in from Wyoming. Let's make some money. Thoughts on EVRI? Okay, we're not going to look in EVRI. We'll look to that later on into the show. We want to keep that thing going. Yarn says, Prince, hello. What's going on, Yarn? You doing all right? Chuck is chilling, says he has a few of both, the Southwest and Delta. So we're going to do a little breakdown. Also, what you're going to learn, not only that, hey, I'm going to just grab both. They are pretty cheap. You can grab both. But what also I'm going to do is to kind of give you guys the thought process of me as an investor. And maybe you may find some things that could be useful for you, right? Miss Butterscotch, what's going on? Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Hello. She said hello. Saying hello for Columbus, Ohio is in the building today. I kind of got a little spiffy, I wanted to put on a little jacket today, a little bit, with the new background with the bookshelf. And of course, you gotta have the investor show cup. All righty. Who's we got here? We got Kathy Green from Dallas, Texas. I'm very interested in airline stocks. Well, you're tuning to the right show. Chuck is chilling. Oh, we already know you're from Long Beach, California is in the house. Okay. Long Beach is in the house. All right. Miss Butterscotch, she's from Hampton Roads, Virginia. We have, I can't say, hello, Prince. Long time watching, first time live. Oh, nice. Nice. Ebelar, Doris. Monk Wade, what up, P? Cali boy coming from the SIP. Okay, he's from Mississippi, but he's a California boy. All right, cool. Nice to see you. Oh, how do you say that? Dorja says she's from Sab Sabna? Sabna? I can't even say the country name. I feel bad. Uh ooh, well, thank you for wherever you're tuning in from. That don't sound like it's nowhere near America. All right. But thanks for tuning in. Hello, Prince, long time watching, first time live from Queens, coming in from Queens. All right, New York showing some love. We got Long Island, we got Queens, Staten Island. Courtney Rogers, what's going on? He said, "What's up, Prince?" Here's that video. Okay, I think he's sending me a video. Okay, cool. And Mike Dukes, I got Delta and American Airlines and Southwest. Okay, Mike Dukes. Another way, Mike Dukes, instead of getting all the little individual ones, you can get the JETS ETF, which would track the entire airline industry. So if you don't know, you can take the whole, you can go from the transportation with XTN, which is X-ray Tango November. You can break it down and go to airline industry with JETS. And then if further, you can buy individual companies. But today, what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break down the finances of each company, right? We're going to look at the finances of the company because so many times, when people invest, and one of the bad things they do with investing, and I'm guilty of it. I did it for a long time, didn't know. I would look at the price of the company, I would look at the name, I would see how much it dropped, and then I would just maybe come across an article or two and then just buy it, right? I won't look at anything of the finances. I don't know how much money the company has, who's losing the most money, who's making the most money, who has the most debt, who's managing the most debt, who got the most revenue. Simple things. If you went to a bank and you asked them for money, those are things they're going to ask you. They want your credit score. They're going to want your credit report, how many times you had credit, how many people you owe, how many people you haven't paid back, all those things. So you should have that same mentality when you investing, because that's essentially what you're doing. You're giving Mike Dukes, now I'm not calling him out, but just in general, Mike Dukes has given Delta, American Airlines, and Southwest Airlines their money, right? You give them your money and hoping they're going to do pay you back in return. So nobody does that nowhere else without doing a background check. So we're going to do a background check, right? Okay, we got Ofri from Ghana. Ghana is in the building. Okay, I think it's my first time seeing a Ghana in the building. All right, nice to see you. Global Appeal. Tyrone Houston, he said, "First Prince, let me get $1." South Cali, showing love from Charleston's Air Force Base. Nice. Thank you for tuning in, Tyrone Hudson. He said, "Let him get $1." I need to borrow you something from you, man. Y'all want to donate $5, definitely you can do that. But all right, thank y'all. We have gotten to it. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to announce this on the roll call that today you will be able to call into the show. So once I get through with the topic, I'm going to open up the lines and I'm going to take a few phone calls. The people that may want to call in, y'all ask for it. You guys and girls said, "Hey, Prince, I would love to be able to call into the show." I used to do that back in the day, but then sometimes you got to worry about. I didn't advertise. I'm gonna put the number up, but I didn't advertise that I was doing that because I didn't want what you call those people, trolls. I didn't want trolls just even if they're probably gonna call anyway. I don't want trolls or just random people just calling. So I want people who are actually tuned in and listening. I want to hear you guys and girls' voice. So I'm gonna give the number and we're gonna call. You're gonna have a chance to call in. Ron said, "Interesting. Oh yeah, we're gonna have the number. I'm gonna put it up. So the first thing to do, let's get into this topic for the people that are tuning in. They came in here for the good stuff. We can't forget about that. Move this out the way. All right. So the first thing we're going to get into, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about what's going on in the market today. So what's going on in the market today? Google, I purchased some Google stocks right when the market closed, and Google, I heard was got some pretty good reports. This is why I purchased Google right before the market closed. I'm just getting into this because when I looked at Google revenue streams, I wrote down a couple of them, but I can show them to you guys later on in the show. But their revenue streams come from Google Ads. They make money from Google Ads. They make money pretty much whatever their revenue streams were. I felt they wasn't affected by the coronavirus. Google is the internet. Google will do well in the future. Google has a large cash pile. It's online. Google doesn't really have any stores that I know of. They might be invested into other companies like Fitbit or whatnot, but their actual revenue stream, I thought it was very strong. I didn't think nothing was going to happen to them, or whatnot. So that's why I made the investment into them right before the market closed, and they have good earnings. Now I was going to do a call option, but I didn't fall into the temptation to want to do that. I took the more conservative road and just purchased the stock. Right. I already had a little bit of Google anyway. I just added a little bit more into the position. So glad to see Google is doing well. I did see someone tell me, I think it was Max B wrote me and said, "Hey Prince, right before I was coming on to the show, Ford fell by they missed their profits by 92% or something like that. The struggle bus stock. So everybody they look at Google and say, man, that stock is $1,200. I can't afford it. No longer you can do that. I showed you guys and girls how you can buy fractional shares with other platforms. You can buy Google for $1 or $2. You can get a fraction of the share, right? So what people are so lured into doing, I was the same way. When I got into investing, I brought all of the most riskiest and dumb things you can buy. I brought all the penny stocks, anything that was cheap. I brought Ford, like not now, but people look at Ford because it's $3, $4. People go grab it, and just because it's cheap, whatnot. And I tell people, don't get so caught up with the price of the stock. Look at the quality. So it took me a while to learn that, but I learned my lesson the hard way. And I learned it with my money. That was an expensive lesson that I had to learn. It took me a while before I realized, hey, you know what? You gotta do better, right? So that's kind of what's going on with the market. The market was kind of flatlined today. We had some earnings came out. Southwest Airlines put out their earnings today. So let's get into our topic. The first thing when I come into the airline industry spends over $1 billion a year on oil. They have to have fuel, right? Now we know oil prices at an all-time low. Oil prices are all over the place right now. So the airline industry, if it was up, it would benefit from low oil prices right now. So that was one thing. The second thing is the airline industry has been hammered. Nobody's really flying. People have been staying home. People not even leaving their homes. So the airports are like a ghost town. So people are not flying like they used to. So, and you're seeing stocks like Delta before the coronavirus hit was at about $60. Southwest Airlines was at 57, almost $60. Now these stocks are trading for $20, $30. So people see opportunities. I see the opportunity and I say, hey, let me pick one. Now my son Wesley loves Southwest Airlines, and he only loves it because it's Southwest. It says his name in it. So he always like, oh, it's West, Dad. That's my airline. That's my favorite airline. I tell him, yeah, son, yeah. So today I waited till the earnings came out, and I read through their reports, and I said, boom, I'm going to buy Southwest Airlines. So I brought that for him, added it to his portfolio today for him. Got him a couple shares, and hopefully in 10 years from now, he'll be glad that I did it. So that was one thing. So I wanted to look at Delta. These were the two big conglomerates in that space, Delta and Southwest. So I wanted to compare those, and that's exactly what we're going to do on the show. So we're going to look at Southwest Airlines, then we're going to look at Delta Airlines, then we're going to pick a winner. So the other thing is what really keep my eye on to while I waited for the bailout. I waited for the official bailout. The government allotted $12 billion. Department of Treasury, ran by Stephen Munch, allotted not 12 million. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It was about $25 million to the airline industry for bailout money, things like that or whatnot. So I wanted to see who was going to get money, how much money they was going to get, how they was going to have to pay it back, all the other good stuff. So we're going to look at Southwest Airlines, followed by Delta Airlines. Then we're going to look at the bailout, who got what, and who has to repay what or whatnot. And then we're going to choose a winner at the end. Y'all like that? All right. So we're going to look at that bailout. We're going to see, how everything is going as well. So, all right. So the first one on the docket, Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines, symbol LUV. And ladies and gentlemen, let me show you guys and girls what I do. When I compare stocks, I get one of these big yellow forms, right? I get a big sheet of paper. It's probably about this big if you can't see it. And what's going to happen is you're going to be able to have on one piece of paper, I write down Delta. One piece of paper, I write down Southwest. I look at the network of the company. How much cash that the company has, the total assets, the debt, net income. The reason why I'm concerned about cash, because when things get bad, cash becomes king. And if you ain't got it, you ain't the king. You turn into a peasant, right? Especially so the people who do have cash, when everybody else doesn't, becomes king. So I want to know who has a lot of cash, who has cash standing in the bank account. Total assets. Why do I worry about the total assets? That gives me a great idea of how big the company is. Prince, why do you worry about the size of a company? Because just by being big, you have a competitive advantage. So for prime example, by Coca-Cola, just being Coca-Cola, I can have a better soda, I can have a better drink, a healthier drink or whatever, but by Coca-Cola being Coca-Cola, by having that large numbers of total assets, it's going to have a competitive advantage over me. It's going to be able to get indoors I can't get behind, right? I'll tell you for prime example, take me in my personal life and business. So let's take it for a prime example. You can take a football player or a basketball player, right? Y'all seen a couple of them on the show. Just for the due fact that they're a professional basketball player, they can get in the doors I can't get into because they got notoriety. Hey, I am a Denver Nugget or Denver Bronco or Colorado Rocky baseball player, or I'm an actor, singer, or whatever, some type of entertainer. They have access to doors that you may not have access to. For prime example, you may be an independent record label, great, but by somebody being Universal Records, they're going to have access to things that their little small mom and pop guy is not going to have, guy or girl is going to have access to. So I like to look at how big that company is, because by being big, that gives you a competitive advantage. Because guess what? Remember vitamin water? Vitamin water was doing a good job. Guess what Coca-Cola came and did? Brought it, right? You had Facebook. Instagram was coming along. Instagram was doing a good job. What did Facebook do? It brought it. That's what the big boys do on the block. They buy the little guys that start to make noise. For prime example, somebody's looking at me right now. They could say, "Ooh, we like him. We like his show or whatnot. How about we CBS or Yahoo Finance or whatever conglomerate could get together. Yahoo Finance is owned by Verizon. They can just get together and be like, you know what? Let's buy his little show and do XYZ. They can do that. That's what the big boys do. And if you don't sell out to them, they're going to destroy you. Because if I was the CEO of Coca-Cola and it was a new company coming along that was making way, you can swallow somebody. So I don't want to go down a rabbit hole on why total assets are important. Just for the sheer fact of being big, that gives you a competitive advantage. The second thing I look for, debt. Debt is what kills people, right? It's not about how much money you make, how many people you owe. If you got debt eating your company alive, because when times get hard, guess what companies do? They move from making a profit to managing debt, right? So debt kills your company. You know, we all know this. We all know credit card, by having a big credit card debt. Imagine if you wasn't paying money to a credit card every month. Imagine if you wasn't paying money to a car note every month. That money was coming to your bank account. How different would your life be? Right? Or what else you can do with that money. So debt is very important. When companies hit a hard time and debt is riding them hard, you know what they do? They start to shift away from focusing. Like right now, Southwest Airlines is not concerned about focusing. They're concerned about keeping their head above the water. Now, if you was a cash heavy company, or if you had little to no debt, at this time you could be seeking growth, right? So that's why debt is important. Another thing I like to look at is total revenue. Simple and easy. How much money is the company bringing in? Revenue is important because I want to see if the revenue is growing, is it stagnated, is it up and down, is all over the place. Companies that continuously grow in revenue has a durable competitive advantage. That tells me that you must have some type of competitive advantage if your company is continuing to grow revenue year over year. If your company have a hard time making revenue, like if you find yourself, you have a hard time making revenue, that means that you're probably in a very competitive space and you might want to step your game up or shift your game up, either one. And what I mean by shift, go somewhere else, shift what you're doing, or work harder, market yourself even harder. So the next one, um, total assets. We did the network of the company, the shares outstanding, long-term debt or whatnot. So before these companies, when I did I did the formula. I looked at the shareholders. What I pretty much took their earnings and I divided by the outstanding shares to get an EPS. Both of these companies in 2019 on their balance sheets were way above what they're trading for right now. They are still, right? So first up, we got Southwest Airlines. So what we're going to do here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you where did I get my information from. Let me move this over, get this thing out of the way. Where did I get this information from? I think this one is Southwest, or is this Delta? All right, so we got Southwest Airlines. This is coming from the SEC.gov, SEC, Security Exchange Commission.gov. This is the 10Q report that came out this morning. This is what Southwest Airlines turned over to the SEC. Now, right here, they tell you right here how many shares they got outstanding. And if I can take the shares outstanding and divide it by the revenue, I can get an earnings per share. So the first thing I want to look at those finances. Ooh, look at that, financial statements. So right here, we can see they have a total, when we look at their total assets, the current assets they have in cash, according to 2020, they had 3.9, right? 2020, as of March 31st, 29, they had 3.9 billion. This is billion, ladies and gentlemen. These numbers are showed in millions, so that's 3.9 billion in cash. So now in current assets, the reason why current assets is important, you want to pay attention to current assets because that tells me how liquid is your money. You know how somebody says, "Oh, I have a network of 10 billion. I'm a billionaire." But how much of that money can you touch if you needed it? So the total current assets tells me how much money can they touch right now at this time, right? So here, going on down, you go on down here to the liabilities. You can look at it. I don't like the way they report their liabilities. Just don't say total liabilities. You got the total current liabilities, and then you pretty much have to add these up. So I calculated at around about 17 billion in liabilities. Their total assets was 26 billion, 26.8 billion, and their total liabilities was 7 billion, 17 billion. So I had a network at about 9 billion, right? So now let's stroll on down here to see what their revenue, how they're making money. So right here, they're telling you how they're making money. Majority of Southwest Airlines money comes from passengers, which is not surprising. Then they have freight. Then they have others, right? So total revenue, here we go in March, ended in March 2021, 4.2 billion. So that was their total revenue stream in March, right? Now they had operational expenses. So they had to pay salaries, they had to pay for fuel and oil. As you can see, they're almost spending about $1 billion, $870 million on oil. So as oil prices drop, they can profit. So last year they spent $1 billion on oil. You can see the oil prices went down a little bit, so that can help them out. So after they paid for their oil, after they paid all the bills, their total operational expenses was $4.3 billion, meaning that once you subtract that, they took home a loss of this quarter of a negative 110 million, right? They lost 110 million after they paid all their bills, right? So after they paid all their interests, all of the good stuff like that, they netted a $94 million loss. So this quarter, they net a $94 million loss, is what I'm looking at as well, right? So here we go. Now I'm going to look up their debt. Where's their debt at? It's another way you could look at. Well, I could go ahead and look at it here. Where's the balance sheet? Up under their liabilities. Long-term debt to maturity, they reported, what is that? Long-term debt and current maturities, 2.2 billion. 2.2 billion in long-term debt. So that's where I got the information from. And the reason why I'm showing you guys and girls that, because I don't want you guys and girls to think that I'm just pulling numbers out of my behind, right? So you guys and girls can see that. So that's Southwest Airlines. So I'm going to jump into some of you guys and girls questions. Then we're going to jump into Delta Airlines. Then we're going to jump into the bailout. We're going to look at both companies, what they did for the bailout. And then once we look at what they did for the bailout, we're going to pick a winner, right? So let me get into some of you guys and girls questions. What are y'all saying down here in the comment section? Takata, I think he said. Taku. Taku, how do all due diligence if you're a swing day trader? Okay, well, a swing day trader, you're a technical person. I may do a show that's a little bit more technical. You don't care about fundamentals. What we're going through today, we're looking at the fundamentals. We're looking at the actual how much money is in the bank or whatnot. A swing trader or a day trader, they don't care the price of Google is going to be in 3 years from now. They don't care about that. They care about, is Google going to move tomorrow morning? Google earnings came out, they're going to go up 3, 4, 5, 7%. And if they do go up, how much are they going to go up by? How can I make a position to sell it off? So you're going to be looking more at a technical chart. So a technical investor, a technical person who's something like a swing trader, day trader, someone who's buying and selling every day, they're going to be someone who's looking at charts, right? A fundamental investor, what we're talking about right now, someone who's looking to invest, they're going to be someone who's going to be more looking at the fundamentals of a company, right? William Voss, what's going on, William Voss? He says, hey, thank you for checking in. Google or Alphabet? Alphabet is the parent company of Google. They're pretty much the same thing. So it was a company called Google. They created Alphabet. So Alphabet is the parent company of Google. Abraham, what's going on? He said, hey, Prince, what do you think about Boeing? We'll get into him a little bit later, Abraham. I want to keep us in line with what we're doing right now. We're going with Southwest Airlines, but that's something that we could look at and possibly, for everybody that's tuning in now, you're going to be able to call in to the show here in a little bit. Once I get done, I'm gonna open up the lines. So instead of typing, y'all guys and girls gonna be able to call in to talk. I'm gonna take a few phone calls. That's if y'all interested. I'm gonna put up the phone number. You guys and girls gonna be able to talk to me live, right? And all of the great stuff. Cause I'm tired of butchering y'all names. So Courtney, TD Ameritrade needs that fractional portion. It's coming. E-Trade and TD Ameritrade, they're going to get it together. They're going to eventually. Right now, Courtney Rogers, you can sell fractional shares. You can't buy them. They're going to get it together, I believe. They got to. Or they're going to lose, lose customers. Michael says, good evening from Toronto, Money Family. What's going on? We got Toronto. Michael, appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. He said, I agree with Courtney. Yeah, they're going to get it together. They're a little bit. It took them a while before they became stop charging fees. They're going to get together. Matt Smalls, what's up, Prince? I'm late from Brooklyn, New York. Man, we got a lot of love in New York City. Okay, we got Brooklyn. I seen on here, and Staten Island, and Long Island, and all other good stuff. Taku said, fractional purchase. Do I have to change the trading platform? Well, one of the platforms I know that do it right now, the Cash App does it. I think a company called M1 Finance does it. Also, I know Robinhood, certain accounts have it. But yeah, right now, if you have TD Ameritrade or E-Trade, you can't purchase fractional shares. But I think eventually they're going to get there, if my memory serves me correctly. Melina, she says, hello, everyone from Miami. Miami's in the house. Thank you for tuning in, Miss Melina. Like I said, guys and girls are going to be able to call in a little bit later. Courtney Rogers Wesley, no, what's up? Southwest for the win. You know what? That might be a trick. He's probably, because he always loves Southwest Airlines. Because if he see the plane and it says it has his name in it, says Southwest, he's, oh, Dad, I want Southwest. That's my favorite airline. So I've been waiting to see would it be a good investment. And yes, the largest shareholder in Southwest and Delta is Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway. Little interesting fact. Bones, what's up, Prince? I still been making some cash scalping. I know he's talking about just pretty much taking money out of the market. Hold cash just for another dip, just in case. I was looking at LUV today, and I regret not getting it at the 28 something for the long. Don't worry about it. You're gonna be all right. When it goes to $40, it don't matter if you got it for $28 or $30. You're still gonna be all right. I kind of missed out a little bit because I thought the earnings was going to come once the market closed, but they didn't. They came once the market opened. But hey, I was able to get in there and do what I needed to do. Bones said I made heavy cash on American Airlines. Nice. Marlena says, hello, everyone. Nice. Harloon Finance says, what's up, Prince? Cool. Michael says, something that isn't mentioned in the financials in today's age of aircraft fleets, Delta has a very old fleet while Southwest has an advantage deal with the supplier. We're going to talk about that. Michael. Stay tuned. Courtney says, I like Southwest, but Delta is getting that international money. Okay, we're going to talk about that too. Max B, I love how we are digging, but I'm going to stick with Jets. Jets is the overall industry. JETS, that's the overall industry, right? So way less riskier, definitely, but not as profitable if you bought an individual company that performed well. So if Delta went back to $60 or $55, it's definitely going to be more profitable than probably a Jets that's probably not going to run that high. I don't think it'll run higher than an individual stock that is doing well, but it's less riskier. What's going on, Max B? Hey, Bone said, "Oh my God, I want to call." Yes, we're gonna do that at the end of the show. Because what I don't want to happen is I start talking to somebody, then get lost or whatnot. ULV most volatile from all the airlines. I think that's United Airlines. I'm not going to do United. I think one of them was kind of halfway filing for bankruptcy. How do you feel about the Sprint T-Mobile? I brought some before they merged. Ooh, which one did you have, Sprint or T-Mobile? Or did you have? You got both of them. Both of them. That's one word too. Both of them. Harloon Financials, what do you think about building a highly paying dividend portfolio from only large cap mega companies? Yes, that's what people do who are preserving capital. People who are trying to, let's say, my dad left me $5 million. And I'm like, you know what? If I can get 3% a year, 3% of 5 million, I don't know off the top of my head. What is that? 10, whatever it is. I get a couple 100,000, right? And so when someone like that, I don't want the market risk. I want a little growth. A person can look at, I want high S&P 500 mega cap companies that pay dividends. People can do that. It's more conservative. So that's for someone who's more considered, who's more about concerned about making money, who's looking to earn money more than grow money. All right. All right. So we went through all those. So next up, we're going to go to Delta Airlines, right? Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines, ladies and gentlemen, they need no introduction. I'm pretty sure if you fly around, you've probably flown on all of them. So, or you've probably flown on a couple of them. But anyway, we're going to get into Delta Airlines. So let me pull that one up. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the SEC.gov. This is Delta Airlines. So Delta Airlines reported their earnings last week. Last week was when their earnings came out, and I'm going to pull up my form here. And we're going to talk about them. But first, every time before I read a financial report, you can't read a financial report without the Investor Show mug. It's the only way to do it. Woo! You could get one too, right in the description box. But anyway, so we're going to look at it, right? We're going to look at their reports. We're going to look at how much cash they got on hand, all of the good stuff. So I'm going to kind of call it out because I already looked at it. So the cash they had on hand in Q1. This is the Q1 report now. I know people are like, well, Prince, you just said they had this much, but I was talking about the 10K. The 10Q just came out today. Cash, they reported 5.9 billion. 5.9 billion in cash. They also reported a total assets of 68 billion. They had a total liability of 54 billion, bringing up their net worth to 14 billion. A net income, they lost 534. Let me make sure I got that right. 534 million. Okay, yeah, right here. Operational loss. No, not loss. Yeah, right here. Their net, they took in a loss of 534 million. So they lost 534 million. They reported in this quarter. Their total revenue was 8.5 billion. Their operational expenses was 9 billion. The long-term debt is 11 billion. Now that we know this, now we have to compare. Delta has more cash on hand, but Delta operational expenses. So to run the business, Delta pays $9 billion. Delta pays $9 billion. Operational expenses to run, I'm about to call on Lou, it's LUV, Southwest Airlines is $4.3 billion. Delta lost $534 million in the last quarter. Southwest Airlines only lost $94 million. Southwest Airlines only has, did I tell y'all the debt? I know I wrote it in here somewhere. Oh yeah, $2.2 billion. Their long-term debt is $2.2 billion versus Delta Airlines has $11.7 billion, right? Revenue. Total revenue came in. How much money came into the company? $8.5 billion for Delta Airlines. The total revenue was $4.2 billion for LUV. Total assets, $26 billion. Total assets, $68 billion. So Delta Airlines is 3 times bigger than Southwest Airlines. Why is that? I'm looking at total assets. The assets that they have, they're 3 times bigger. Now, this is the thing. They're 3 times bigger when it comes down to total assets. But when we look at network, they're very close. The network, so a company that's 3 times bigger than you, but your network for Delta Airlines is $14 billion. Network, we get that by subtracting the total assets versus the liabilities. Not about to say Lou again, but Southwest Airlines, their network is $9 billion. So the network is pretty close, even though Delta Airlines is way bigger. They make more money. This is why. Let's look at the operational expenses. It costs $9 billion last quarter just to run the business versus operational expenses for Southwest was 4.3. Here's another one. Total liabilities for Southwest Airlines was 17 billion. Delta Airlines was 54 billion. So the Delta Airlines, even though they're way bigger, they have a whole lot of liabilities on their books. We look at the stock prices. The stock prices are not that far off from each other, right? So when I look at it, when I look at the finances of both companies, Southwest Airlines does a better job. Even though they're smaller, they make less money, but I don't care about the size. I care about how you managing the money. For prime example, you have a football player. I did a show on this called The Rich Dummy, and the Poor Genius. The Rich Dummy and the Poor Genius. The poor genius was a guy who went to school. I really thought he had autism or something, right? No shots to people with special needs or whatnot. For people who don't know, Wesley actually was diagnosed with autism when he was 4 years old, right? So, but anyway, I thought this guy had autism or something, right? We graduated high school. He went off and worked, got a job at Walmart. I was actually happy that he had a job because he was a little weirdo a little bit. My other buddy, he goes off to school. He becomes a football player. He's a great football player. He goes off to a Division I school to play football, ends up going to the NFL. I said, man, he has made it in life. He's going to make millions of dollars. He played for 8 years, and guess what? He made all that money. The guy ended up going broke and ended up with brain problems, right? I go back to the guy who just went to Walmart. This guy worked at Walmart for a decade, ended up going somewhere else, getting another great job. Next thing I know, the guy had 2 houses, right? The guy was he invites me to come to his house. I go to his house. Yeah, I'm almost paid off with this house, and I just bought another one, and I'm going to rent this house out. So I don't look at how much money you make. I look at what do you do with the money that you make. So Delta Airlines is way bigger they're 3 times bigger when you look at total assets. So but they have way more liabilities on the books. They got way more debt, and when you look at the things that matter, like the cash and the liabilities and the operational expenses, they're not that far off, right? When the operational expenses way higher. So with that, I feel more comfortable with taking a flight with Southwest Airlines. Now, I'm going to take some questions, and the next thing we're going to do, we're going to get into the bailout situation. We're going to look at who did what on the bailout. The Department of Treasury came out and bailed out both companies. When they bailed out both companies, both of these companies have to pay back. But I want to see what deals that both of the people get with bailouts, right? So when we do the bailouts, we're going to look at it. We're going to get into the bailouts. Then we're going to pick a winner. Both of these companies took bailout money. Michael already kind of spoke about that. So Courtney, you just said they was getting international money, but I don't care about the international money if you're not doing it right. Ed Tanner says, how do you feel about, I already spoke on that one. REITs right now, what do you think? REITs or real estate investment trusts? No. I got to see how, with all these unemployed people and all these businesses are slowing down on income, I'm kind of worried about, I'm holding on to DRV right now. I'm wondering how the rent is going to be paid. Who's going to pay all these rent? Who's going to pay the leases? Also, it takes more now to buy a house. So real estate, I'm kind of watching from a lens right now. P, what was the formula you used for earnings per share ratio? Shares outstanding divided by total revenue divided by shares outstanding. I didn't even get into the debt to income ratio, all of the good stuff. Gil Didrik said, appreciate the knowledge you're sharing, brother. Appreciate it, Gil. Thank you for tuning in. Bones, sorry to change your flow, but I forgot. What's your thoughts on Hertz? It's connected to airlines. Also, I'm thinking about playing long. Hertz, I can't really say because I haven't looked at Hertz. I don't even know how much they're down or even they are down. But yes, the whole transportation industry is down. But with them, Hertz haven't got a bailout. So even with the government giving bailout money to the airlines, this has nothing to do with Hertz, right? If people are not flying and people are not moving, the rental cars are going to suck. So until the airlines are back up and moving, that's when I can see them getting back and making some money. With Delta and them, the deals they're getting, that does not have anything to do with currently right now with the economy being open and people are flying. Max B says, since I brought my investor show mug, I can read 10Ks like Warren Buffett. Exactly. I'm gonna make me a cheese commercial one day. I'm gonna have a guy who's like, man, I don't know how to read. The next thing you know, you're gonna take a sip out the investor show cup. He's gonna be like, wow, total revenue. He's gonna start ramping up all these financial formulas and all of the good stuff like that. It's pretty good. I think it's funny. Harloon Finance said, I'm taking 5% or higher. Okay. Harloon, I'm trying to get this cash flow. I want to stop working within the next 5 to 10 years before I'm 40. Okay, so he said he wants to get the cash flow. He wants 5% or higher. Look for dividend aristocrats or look for dividend kings. Dividend kings are companies that have paid dividends for 50 years or more. Dividend aristocrats are companies that have paid dividends for 25 years. And not only have they paid them, the dividends have increased. So if they increase dividends for the last 25 or 50 years, that means they even done it during a recession. So I would start with that list if I was looking at dividends for income. The reason why you're looking at dividends for income, because dividends are not guaranteed. They can be guaranteed for the quarter. What are all the companies doing right now? What is Ford doing? What GM doing? What everybody's doing? Everybody's cutting those dividends. Even the airline industry, they're cutting their dividends. I don't want to get into that, but we're going to talk about that on the next segment. Cody's Okay, Ruby from Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you for tuning in. We got Matt Smalls. What do you think about Avis and Hertz, the rental car companies? Yeah, I spoke on them a little bit earlier. You have Asperger's. I hate dealing with people, but I love numbers. That's what I love too. I look at people. Life is not fair, right? It's some things that I'm horrible at. I'm a horrible writer, right? I don't write very well and very fluently easy, right? So it's kind of crazy that they're like, well, you write all the time. But I'm not a great writer, but I get better at it by writing more. So it's things that I'm not good at, I can't jump high. I don't run fast. I'm not some super athlete or whatever the case may be, or I'm not a comedian and have all this charisma. What some people do. Some people, they're 6'8", and within 2 years they're going to make more money than I will in my lifetime by being a professional athlete. Great on them. Some people got natural talents. They got seen by people. Great on them, but life isn't fair. What you got to do is you got to find out what you're good at and play to your strengths. You got Asperger's and you can't deal with people. You don't know how to talk to people. You can you're good at numbers. That's all you need. So all you need to do become a CFA, be a person behind the scenes that does the numbers. You find a loudmouth like me who's an extrovert. That's how you do business. Play into your strong suits. So if you're an introvert, but you're good at numbers, you got to find somewhere where you can just sit back and do numbers all day. Versus if you're an extrovert, you got to be the person that go out. So play to your strengths. Life is not fair. Pick up what you're good at and, hustle it the best way you can to become great. Oh, he said he's buying Play Long. Okay. I forgot who Play was. Is that a game? I can't remember. I know it's what you call it. Oh, he said he said, Prince, make that investor show mug ad. Yeah, I should do that. I got to get there somebody to shoot me a commercial one day. Right, that'd be too funny. Fadha said, I started investing yesterday. Very smart man. He says he's got American Airlines, Boeing, and Southwest. Nice. This is why I look about buying a couple different stocks. I like Charlie Munger's saying what he called diversification, diversification. He said if you do your research and you really know what you're doing, you wouldn't spread your money out. You'll put it in one place. If we all knew Apple was at $280 a day and we knew it was going to be at $3,000 within 3 years, will we diversify or we put all our money in Apple? Me, if I knew that, I would throw the house at Apple, right? But since we don't know that, we spread our money out. So what he does with his philosophy is become a genius at a few things and just focus on them. I like that. Bone said, thanks. Cool. Yeah, man. Just focus on what you're good at. By a weight, I think that's American Airlines. No, I'm picking one. I'm picking Southwest. I'm not doing all that diversification. I'm riding with Southwest. That's why I'm taking my flight. Pete, not to take you off topic here. He always say, yes, there is a restaurant ETF. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. I can't think of it, but there is a restaurant ETF. I don't know it off the top of my head. But now that we know that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the next topic, the subtopic, bailout. Both companies got bailed out. Both companies took billions of dollars. We saw it all over the news. Billions of dollars paid out, billions of dollars in the PPP, the payroll protection plan. These companies took billions of dollars. So I want to know who got the money, who has to pay it back, what are the terms and conditions, and is there competitive advantage? Did somebody pick up a competitive advantage during the bailout, right? All companies are not created equal. We just spoke about that, right? So all companies are not created equal. So I want to see both companies took a bailout. Who took a bailout? Right? So we're going to go through the bailout. We're going to discuss the winner and why. And then I'll let some of you guys and girls call in. All right? All righty. Let's get into the bailout. I don't want to pull it up. I'm not going to pull it up, but I'm going to tell you guys. Well, I'm going to pull it up on the SEC so you guys and girls won't say, oh, Prince just making up some stuff. He read it out of an article. No, I'm telling you what the company said. So first up, we're going to look at Delta. Is this Delta or is this what you call? Who is this? Delta. I got it right. So we're going to look at Delta first. What did Delta do? What was their bailout? We got to scroll down here on the 10Q report. Right here up on the 10Q report, you're going to see a thing that says CARES Act. And pretty much they're going to speak about the CARES Act. We're going to break down Delta Airlines deal. I wrote them both down here. Trying to find my cue card. Which one my cue card for Delta? Where did my cue card go? I probably left it on my desk. But that's okay because we got the facts right in front of us. So essentially what they're saying is on March 22nd, let's get down to the good stuff. Okay, on April 2020, they were granted $5.4 billion in emergency relief funds via the CARES Act, right? They can't furlough anybody. They can't lay anybody off until September 30th. For taking this money, they can't lay anybody off. The government is doing this so they don't have all these people go file for unemployment and screw up the unemployment worse than what it already is. Other conditions included they cannot repurchase their stocks. Oh, I didn't get into that. Also, Southwest Airlines was purchasing, it had a RAS program, a stock repurchasing program. When a company is repurchasing its stock, Southwest Airlines was repurchasing this stock for $57 each. So that was another thing. When a company is repurchasing its stock, it means that it has so much cash left on hand that it's buying its own stocks back. Even though it was buying back its own stocks, a program they just recently suspended, they were buying back their own stock. And when they were buying back their own stock, they still had they still just a couple billion shy from Delta. So definitely Southwest Airlines is doing a better job of financial management. Employee layoffs, furloughs, other condition. Okay, so they can't purchase their own stocks. They can't pay dividends until September 30th of 2021. Continuing with that, they have relief. 3.8 billion was a grant, so they don't have to pay back 3.8 billion. It was a grant for them. 1.6 billion dollars is what they have to pay back over 10 years at a low interest rate of 1.1% in 5 years, and then for the last 5 years they have to pay 2%. So in return for that, they're going to issue the government 6.5 million warrants to buy back their stock for $24.34. So the government can buy back the stock for $24.39. So for them getting this, so pretty much they have to pay back $1.6 billion in a loan, and they're giving the government $6.5 billion in warrants, meaning that the government, with over the next 5 years, they can purchase the stock for $24.39. That's pretty much their deal. All right. So they got some good money there. They're going to have to pay back $1.6 billion in the next 10 years. The first 5 years at 1%, and the last 5 years is going to be at 2%. And in return, they gave the government 6.5 million. The government can buy 6.5 million shares for $24.39. This is why I told people to go out and grab Delta, because the government has a dog in the fight of Delta doing well. So now that's the bailout for Delta. So I'm going to take y'all questions before we look at the bailout for we're going to look at the bailout for what you call it. Thank you for what you do, Lakeshore. Okay, Lakeshore. Okay, Harloon Financials play. Yeah, that's what it is. Play. That's Dave and Buster's. Oh yeah, I bet they got really beat up. They're probably like $4 or $5 right now, $3. I gotta look into them. Delta's better than expected. Yes, Delta's not too bad. So now we're going to look at the Southwest Airline deal, right? We're going to look at the Southwest Airline. Yeah. Delta lost $54 million. Options play. Yes, you can do an options play. If you want to do what the government did, you can do what the government did. You can go buy a call option for $25, right? You can buy a call option for $25. That's going to give you the right to buy Delta. You can just you don't have to buy the stock. If you were somebody, I'm not telling anybody to do this. Is not advice. I'm telling somebody what to do. I'm just giving you options, financial education. You could buy a call option for $25, expiration date in September. It may cost you a couple $100. And when Delta goes over $25, which I know it will, just a matter of time of when it goes over $25, you can make a profit without even owning the stock by having a derivative, something that we discussed on yesterday's show. Yeah, Delta earnings wasn't as bad. They lost 54. They lost 500 million, I think. They lost 500 million, but that was a lot compared to what Southwest Airlines, who lost way less. So now let's look into the deal of Southwest Airline. What deal did Southwest Airline cut with the government? Now we're going to share my screen. I'm going to look up Southwest Airline. I would tell you guys this: their deal is a little bit more convoluted, but it's still the same deal. We stroll all the way down here to note 13. So if you want to look this up, this is on their 10Q filings on note 13. All right, where is it at? Where you at? Don't you try to hide from me. I know you're there. Here you go. It's 11. Where is it at? Oh. I need to get me a remote mic too. Then after this, I'm going to open up the lines. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? I think I must have strolled by it. Let me look. Let me see. I think it's right here. Should have had this stuff bookmarked, huh? There we go. On the 13, subsequent event. That's what it says there on 13. So essentially, okay, on April 20th, the company reached a deal with the Department of the Treasury. Blah, 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 blah. So they're going to get 3.2 billion. Sorry about that. They're going to get 3.3 billion for the company to provide in Promising Act. Only $948 million is an unsecured term loan to the company and warrants to purchase up the aggravated 2.6 million shares of the company. So essentially, Southwest Airlines got 3.3 billion. They only have 9.48 million in unsecured loans. So right there, they're paying back less. In return, they're going to give up 2.6 million shares of their company. Warrant. They're going to give $2.6 million, not dollars, 2.6 million shares of their company in warrants back to the Department of Treasury. On April 21st, 2021, April 21st, 2020, the company received, they already got 1.6 million, and they got 1.6 million, and they got 1.6 billion, 459 million is unsecured loans, and they got 1.3 million shares of the company stock. The remainder of the funds are expected to be distributed to the company, and the additional warrants to be expired by May 2020. So they're going to get more money. They say they got $1.6 billion of the $3.3 billion. They got half of the money already. Half of it is stock, and in return, they issued 1.3 shares worth of warranties. Now, here's the deeper part about their situation. Also, pretty much they're just going to go in. They're going to give the government the right to be able to buy their shares for $36.47. $36.47. The government can buy their shares all the way until 5 years. The government, and within the next 5 years, the government can pay $36.47 for Southwest Airlines shares, 2.6 million worth. Now the catch is what they're doing in return for getting the loan. They have an option. Either they can pay their loan off in cash early for the same percentage, 1%, or they can just repay with warrants. So Delta took out loans, a $1.6 billion loan, and gave up warranties. But Southwest Airlines they took out, their loan is way less. They almost took out about $700 million less than Delta did. They owe less money back to the government, and then they don't even have to pay it back because they can issue warrants to the government. They have the option. They can pay their debt off with warrants, or they can pay their debt off with cash, right? So hands down, just for the fact of their repaying of their loan, one, Southwest took less money. They owe less money in loans, and in their contract, or what they're saying, they can pay their money back in warrants, and the government can buy their stocks for $36.47 anytime in the future for the next 5 years. So they gave up less. They owe less, and they gave up less than Delta. Delta took on more debt than Southwest Airlines. So whoever ran that deal, somebody was speaking about Delta's fleet is older. Guess what? Whoever's managing Southwest Airlines is doing a better job than Delta. They negotiate a better deal. Every time the government gives them money, they're going to get the government warranties instead of money. They don't have to pay back as much money that Delta has. Delta, they just say, hey, we're going to pay back $1.6 billion. That's in the next 10 years. That's what they got to pay back. Southwest Airlines don't even pay anything back. They can pay it back in warranties. And if they did have to pay it back, there's only $948 million in loans. At 1%, they got the same percentage. 1% for the first. Both of them got the same percentage. Southwest just took a whole lot less, and they have an option to where they can pay it back off of just pre-loans. So there we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that we know that, we're going to get into the winner. The winner is easily going to be Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is doing a better job of managing their money. They're doing a better job of managing their money, managing their funds. So if I had to take a bet, not saying that Delta's not going to run by and do better or whatnot, but if I'm taking a bet and I'm giving somebody my money, I'm looking at your credit score. Your credit score telling me how you're managing your money, right? I'm looking at how you guys and girls are managing your money. I'm looking at how much debt you took on, how much debt you already had on the books, how you're running your money. Southwest Airlines is the winner in my book. So that's what Southwest Airlines. Wesley finally got his Southwest Airlines stocks that he always been asking for. I put it into some other funds, portfolios that I manage, and that's why I chose it. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna give y'all a number to call in. Okay. Call in. I'm dropping the number right now in the chat. 669-275-0760. All right. All right, I'll open up the lines. I'll open up the lines. The number to call in right now is 669-275-0760. Right? If you want to call in, that's what you can call in right now to talk live. Type it in here. Zero. All right, there it is. Oh, made a little typo there. Yep, that's the number. 669-275-0760. 669-275-0760. That is the number if you want to call in to talk live and to be heard over the airways. Right? Feta says nice, but if you can take it spread something like by 35 sale, you can do that. If you can take it spread something like 35 sale 50 some, yeah, you could do that. That's another option too. That's another option you could do. You could buy a calendar. You're talking about a calendar spread, right, Lakeshore? Am I mistaken? Hopefully I'm not mistaken. Or vertical. Okay, vertical spreads. Okay, we got vertical. Okay, talking about vertical spreads. Okay, that's true. All right. Oh, what's going on? We got a caller. I'm gonna turn you up a little bit. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, you on live, man. Hold on 1 second here. Let me. No, I don't want to do the chat. So what's going on? Tell everybody which who you are, where you calling from.
My name is David Gilchrist. I'm calling from Cumming, Georgia.
Cumming, Georgia.
Primarily a
Uh-huh.
Cumming, Georgia, but I'm from Waynesboro, Georgia.
Oh, I know you from Waynesboro. I know you. So everybody out there, let me know if you can hear him pretty well. This is my first time doing it on this particular platform, but let me know if y'all can hear him, right? So yeah, what's going on, man? What's on your mind? What you want to talk about?
So I'm primarily a real estate investor because I like to get the residual rental income.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, D. Yarn, I have you on mute. I see that you called in. I'm gonna have to put you on mute. As soon as we get done with Dedrick, then we're gonna talk to you. Okay, go ahead. You're on live.
So yeah, I'm primarily a real estate investor, either via tax lien or I buy rental properties because I like to get that cash flow. But I'm looking at diversifying just a bit and getting into some stocks. Would you suggest that anything we're buying right now, the airlines or any of these companies, is this more of a long term, 3 to 5 year hold, or have you seen people having success with the short term trades in the market currently?
Okay, hold on for a second. Okay, so people say I need to turn the volume up a little bit. Nothing on you. We're gonna get into you. Can y'all hear him now? Matt, can you hear him now? Lakeshore, can y'all hear him? Because everybody tell me to turn you up a little bit. They want to make sure they heard you. So
okay.
I want to make sure.
Repeat the question.
Yeah, okay. I want everybody to. Everybody says good now. Okay, Miss Butters.
Perfect.
So Matt says good now.
Here.
All right. So go ahead. Tell them where you're calling from. Tell them I'm sorry about that, dude. But tell them your name. Tell them where you're calling from, and also tell them your question.
Cool. So my name is Dedrick Gilchrist. I'm from Waynesboro, Georgia, but now I live in the Atlanta area. I am primarily a real estate investor. I buy and hold, to get rental income, residual income.
Hold on, wait.
That's my main strategy.
Hey, Dedrick, hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me do. I'm sorry about that. Let me make sure you are. Let me go right here. I want to make sure it's a little bit better. I bet you they're going to be able to hear you now. Now go ahead now, Dedrick. Take it from the top one more time.
All right. Third time's the charm. So again, my name is Dedrick Gilchrist. I'm from Waynesboro, Georgia, same as Mr. Dykes here. Actually grew up and went to his mother's preschool. So long time. Now I'm primarily a real estate investor. I buy a lot of buy and holds. I will do a fix and flip. And I also navigate the wholesale space. But I like the buy and holds because I'm pretty much guaranteed a residual income as long as those properties are rented out. But now that everything is kind of down, I'm looking to diversify and sink a few funds into some stocks. My main question for you is, would you say that these are more of the 3 to 5 year plays that we should hold for a while, or have you seen people making a nice profit in the day trading space in the current market?
Okay, so you're pretty much saying, hey, I'm mostly a real estate guy. I buy a property, I get cash flow off of them. I'm good with that, right? Which is perfectly fine. I look at the world of investing. You got 3 options. You got business, real estate, stocks, right? And when you look at all the top wealthiest people in the world, guess what they all have? Real estate, business, stocks, right? So your real estate property, great play, right? But also, now the other thing that you have to worry about, not worry about,
But the other thing that you can look into venture into, getting into stocks is very easy. When you talk about the term, for instance, this one is going to take me 3, 4, 5 years to make a return on investment. No, it's not, right? The average bear market is going to take, we all know the average bear market lasts from 6 months to 14 months. By next summer, we'll be out of this. Someone who purchased, being an investor, right? If you go out today and buy Southwest Airlines, by next year, I wouldn't be surprised if you had doubled your money, right? I'm not guaranteeing that, but that's very well possible. Because by next summer, I'm almost positive we're going to be out of this, right? So the question is, hey, well, Prince, the day trading thing. The day trading person is a person who buys the stock today, sell it tomorrow, buy it today, sell it tomorrow. They go over more speculative thing. But as an investor, now is the perfect time to be able to jump in and to start looking at some companies to buy. You're looking at companies that are pretty much 50% off right now. That's why everybody's concerned about the airline industry. The airline industry, Southwest Airlines, was about $57 to $60. Now, if Southwest Airlines, I wouldn't be surprised by September if you made a 10, 20, 30% return on investment. Does that kind of help?
That's great information. And those are the kind of returns I see on the rental properties. And of course the tax liens in Georgia, 20%. So if you're telling me I can get 30, that's a good enough play from, somewhere around 20 to 30. That's a good enough risk for me to sink some money and let it sit there.
Well, exactly. Then also you can even go with something that's less risky. You can get a company like Apple. You can get a company like Microsoft. Companies that are paying dividends. On average, a company like Microsoft and Apple are paying 3% dividends just for holding it, right? Every quarter, you collect them a dividend check. So this is just another way to diversify your portfolio. You don't have to throw the whole monkey wrench in, but you can throw a little bit because whether you like it or not, or know it or not, you can see when businesses fail, right? When the coronavirus hit, businesses fail. The next thing that came was the stock market. Now that when the stock market start to fall and business start to fall, next over you got real estate, right? Because if nobody has a job, who's going to pay the jobs? Who's going to pay the mortgages and lease, right? So the thing about it is, you're in the game already. You're just getting over to a little bit more. It won't even hurt you to get a little bit of stocks right now because this only happens every 10 years. The last time this happened was in 2008, and it probably won't happen again for another 5 to 10 years.
Perfect. Last question. What would you say? To fill it, what's your kind of minimum purchase? If you say, 500, 1,000, kind of what's your starting amount that you put in, when you're looking to get these returns?
The minimum $500. Minimum.
Okay.
Right. I would say a minimum of $500. You can start yourself. Don't look to buy stock. Look to build a portfolio. Just like you built your portfolio with real estate, do the same things with stocks. Right. So now you got a stock portfolio and you got a real estate portfolio. You don't have to go in here and become a day trader. Don't become a person with a bunch of big strings hanging around and you in here every day. You can just go in there and do some stuff like, let me get some Google. The Google is the internet, right? I'm gonna get some Google. Let me get some Apple. Let me get 2 shares of Microsoft. Have my dividends reinvested. Forget about it, right? And you don't have to do no work. You don't have to worry about the taxes. You don't have to worry about the toilets. You know what I mean? You ain't got to worry about tenants.
Right.
You ain't got to worry, whatever, right? So, and you can still do your real estate thing.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks for this platform. I appreciate all the nuggets I've been able to get from you. Congratulations, man. Keep it up. The community definitely needs you.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for calling in.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, let me see who else is online. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to see who else is in. All right. So the lines are open back up. If you want to call in, I know it was 2 other people that was on hold, but I guess they decided, hey, I'm done, I'm hanging up. But if you want to call in, definitely call in. Right? The lines are open back up to the next caller who wants to call in, who wants to check it out live for the next, I think I'll be on for another 10 or 15 minutes. So while we wait for somebody who wants to call in, we'll also have Everybody said, "Oh yeah, that's super loud and clear." There you go. There you go. I'm glad y'all got that. Yeah, glad y'all got it. Glad. Thank y'all for working with me. Had to work out the sound and the audio a little bit. But I think they kind of come back. He said, elbow bump. Courtney said it sounds like 215 subwoofers. Matt said that was a good question. Buy stocks now or wait next week? What are you waiting on? Are you looking at a particular company? Are you looking at a particular company looking at buying? So everybody can see if you want to call in and talk live while I'm here. 669-275-0760. That is the live number. I think I figured out my audio. There we are. Delta and Southwest Airlines earning is better than expected in goods, but American Airlines and United Airlines still looking to earnings after you can buy UAL, I think 28 after bail on May 1st. Yes, you're talking about the earnings or whatnot. But yes, I mean, tomato, whatever company you want to look into. When I look at a company, I look at the technology industry, right? I can't go through every technology company. So I go through the top people in the game. Once I get a baseline of the top people, according to market capitalization and total assets, once I get them, once I figure out how they're going, now I can maybe thumb through every, I don't want to go through here and, if you buy Delta, American, that's exposing my portfolio to too much airline stocks. I just want a little bit. I'm going to pick one horse and I'm going to ride my horse. Pick one horse, become very good at it, and ride that horse. All right. Matt Smalls gave a thumbs up. Kathy Green said residual income. Okay. And they was talking about the conversation that we just had. But yeah, if you want to call in live while we're on here, the call-in number is 669-275-0760. Again, that is 669-275-0760. So I know we had some issues on the first call there where we had some not feedback, but we had some some hearing issues. So I'm glad we worked that out, that y'all can hear me and him now. So that was good. How it says good vibes. Nice. So there you have it, right? You have people, we look at, people looking at, hey, well, Prince, what about JetBlue and blah, 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 blah. Sounds like I should buy some Southwest Airlines. I should be selling some calls. Yes, I'm not like once again, ladies and gentlemen, invest at your own risk. We just went through it. I just gave you guys my opinion. I don't want nobody, if Southwest Airlines, something crazy happened to them, I don't want nobody like, Prince, you said Southwest Airlines. Anything can happen to Southwest Airlines, whether it's good or bad. I'm just looking to make a calculated risk. Just like if I was to go buy a house or if I was going to buy a rental property, yes, a sinkhole can happen and coronavirus could break out and you could lose your whole investment, right? But that's why I'm looking at the finances. I'm looking at the finances. I'm looking at the bailout. I'm looking at the debt. I'm looking at the competitors to be able to make the best educated decision I can and pick one horse. I ain't smart enough to pick 5, 6, 10 horses. I'm going to pick one horse in that industry, and that's going to be it for my portfolio. Max B said, LOL, Ford missed the earnings hard. I told you guys and girls, the struggle bus. Everybody's like, well, Prince, you think Ford is going to bounce back? You think Macy's is going to bounce back? You think J.C. Penney is going to bounce back? I'm not worried about a bounce back. I'm just going to go ahead and get with the people who are getting it correct, right? He said they're off the struggle bus. They're now officially walking. Oh, man. But if y'all want to call in and talk, if you want to call in and talk live, y'all give me 1 second, make sure. All right. If you want to call in and talk live while I'm still live on the air, that should change right now. Call in 669-275-0760, catching up off the stream. LK Raw, of course, is calculated risk. I did the same thing with Bank of America. I'm selling calls now. LK Raw, you're doing the same thing I'm doing now. I'm about to lose my stocks. I think I'm gonna lose my stocks, y'all, by the end of this week. I sold some calls on Bank of America for about $25. I think I brought the stocks for 23 or whatever. And what I mean by lose my stocks, I'm gonna make a profit either way. If it goes to $25, I'm gonna make a profit and or whatnot. But they had a strong day today. They're bouncing up at like $24 right now. So I'm happy either way. I will lose stocks, and guess what? I want to buy them again anyway. I'm gonna buy something else. I sold calls. I've been selling calls on Bank of America about 2-3 weeks now. Chuck is chilling. He said, if I have a 401k, should I buy ETFs and funds in my personal portfolio? If you have a 401k, you should be looking at I would just put in the broad-based index. A 401k that's usually offered through your employer, and you only get at least three options. I would just go ahead and get the right? I wouldn't mess with it. I mean, I would just probably put it like me with my 401k with the military. I use the small cap stocks and the large cap. I invest in a small cap, large cap through my 401k. That's it. I don't go all that international, all that stuff like that. I'm already international. Okay, we got a live caller. All right, you got to turn me down in the background. Hello? Yeah, what's going on? You got to turn me down in the background. What's going on? Say your name, where you calling from.
Hey, what's going on? This is Bones. I'm in Florida now.
What's going on, Bones?
Hey, how's it going? Hey, I'm sorry I'm not the best speaker. I do have difficulty talking to people, but I do love numbers.
Okay. All right, that's good. I like that.
Okay. Yeah. I do have a few questions and a few things. Do you think the market is trading more on emotion rather than numbers right now?
I think right now, you notice in the last couple of weeks, we've been going sideways. We've been consolidating, right? So I think that people, and when you're consolidating, you're in a neutral state to where you can go on to the moon or you can fall through the floor, right? It's an uncertain time, but it's not bad. Because, the market did a majority of it selling off in March, right? And in April, we've been kind of tethered along the way. I see right now big money is propping up, but I don't think that it's traded off with emotions right now, because if it was emotional, we would be at 15,000 points on the Dow. Would you agree?
No, not really. I think everybody's out of work and they're just trying to gamble on some stocks. They have no idea what's going on in the real life with 26 million unemployed, and it's not a guarantee that those people are going to be reemployed after the government bailouts come in.
Okay. Now this is the question. When you look at regular people, who controls the market? Institutional investors or regular people?
That's a tough question. I have no idea.
70% of the market is ran by institutional investors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by people being at home and getting $5 worth of Google, that's not moving the market.
Now,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
If an insurance company decides to sell off the Apple, that's what moves the market, right? Let's say the market closed today and I buy $2,000 worth of Bank of America stock. You think that's going to move the market?
Not at all.
Not at all, right? Most people
unless everybody starts compounding on that price you're buying.
And right. So when you can Google it, look it up yourself. And I think I showed this on the show where you can look at Tesla. When you go to Tesla, what platform do you use? TD Ameritrade or E-Trade?
Okay.
I said, which one do you use, TD Ameritrade or E-Trade?
See, for me, I have a funny feeling about Tesla.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are going to hate me on this. I know it's about $7.13 now. I haven't looked recently, but it's in the 7+ number right now. And I know what was it, last week it dropped to 680, I believe, 675. 675-ish. But I believe since the oil prices have gotten so low and there's so few to demand, I believe that Tesla stock is going to drop to a certain number and then go back up once the oil starts regaining massively.
Now, Bones,
But I think,
that's something I would agree with you on. I do believe Tesla is all emotion. When you open up the financial sheets, on the financial sheets, Tesla is a nightmare, right? So what's trading it up is institutional investors. I think Tesla, 60% of Tesla stock is owned by institutions, right? So you have all these pension funds. You have
okay. Now I understand what you mean by institutional investors.
Yeah, see, like Bones sitting at home buying stocks or whatnot, you're just an individual person, right? But now let's say, what about the police pension fund? What about all these hedge funds? All these, major big companies that are around the globe, insurance companies, those are, when they make moves, those are ones who are moving the market, right? So by people sitting at home with $500 and buying a little bit of this and buying a little bit of that, no, right? When you look at Tesla, about 60 to 70% of Tesla shares are owned by institutions. I believe that for some reason, Tesla, even though I'm not going to lie to you, I do have it in my portfolio. It's more of a gamble, right? It's more of a gamble. But when you look at the finances, the fundamentals of Tesla, they don't match up to $700. They are a financial nightmare right now. So I will agree with you on that. That one I believe is emotion.
What upsets me totally about Tesla is that Elon Musk does not have his SpaceX attached to Tesla. He has it attached to, I believe it's Alphabet, that runs or that owns SpaceX. And then that leads to another one, Virgin Galactic, which is the IPO came out a few months ago, just before all this stuff started happening with the whatever virus. Well, I don't know if I could say it because I don't want your video get.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So the IPO came out, and then all of a sudden it went from like 11 all the way up to 41. Then it dropped back down, and then it slowly crept up. Now it's around 17 something. Maybe pushing 18, on average now. It was between 17 and 18 now. But I believe if Tesla had SpaceX there, I would buy Tesla now. And Space, which is Virgin Galactic, I'm buying heavily in there, even though it's a gamble on my part because that's not an American company, and I don't know if they're going to get a bailout or not. And I know they're in a UK talk to get a bailout, and their airline just went bankrupt, I believe, which is very which is very bad. But I believe we have to look into the future. Technologies are blowing up, whatever, but I believe space is, the newest technologies with the rockets and whatever and blah, blah, blah. Boeing, even though it was at 410 just a few years ago, or like a few months ago, now it's at 130. I believe Boeing's going to go down to 89.90 because of that deal that they had, and now they're going to get sued. Well, anyway, I'm going on a tangent, but I'm so sorry. Well, all right, forget about the whole space thing. I got hurt at 350. Now it's about
$3.
now it's trading about $5. Yeah, now it's trading about $5. It's I'm a swing trader. I hold long positions sometimes when I have very good confidence in the company. I'll hold it long. I'm like, I'll deal with 25 cents going down or $1 or $2 going down, but I'll hold it long term. Doesn't matter to me. But Hertz is breaking my brain, and so is what was it? Play, which is Ben Buster's, whatever it's called.
Dave and Buster's.
Those two companies are, even though they're totally opposite, those two are breaking my brain. Because I know Hertz is attached to the airline, kind of attached to the airline industry. And they are so close to foreclosure, and I know they're seeking remediation right now. Should I sell now at $5, or should I just hold it long? And for Play, I bought it at $11. Now it's at $14. And, with this, I guess we could call it the, like the V word. I don't want to say the name.
Yeah.
their industry is based on non-social distancing. And how the heck can you have social distancing if everybody's touching all the games? They're all around, they're drinking beers. Is that going to, is that a good play for long? Is that going to work itself out? That's where I'm flustered at. I'm flustered on Hertz and on play.
This is how I look at it. Hertz is tied to the airline industry, but the airline industry got a bailout. Hertz didn't, right? So now the government is taking care of them until September. Why, if I'm investing, why do I want to jump on the struggle bus? Hertz is on the struggle bus.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on. Play, Dave and Buster's, you don't know when it's going to open. But look at Google. Google was none of its revenue streams have been affected at all, right? In actuality, their revenue streams have gone up. You know what I mean? In Q1. So when I'm looking at investing, I'm looking at a calculated risk. And if you own the struggle bus, I know you probably heard me say this a bunch, but if a company's over there struggling, and I'm trying to, if you're in Florida and you're trying to get a ride, why would you jump on a train that is missing a wheel? You don't know if it's going to get back on the track and it's kind of struggling and whatnot. You know what? When you get it together, then I will look at investing into you. But until then, no. That's why I don't invest in the startups, because everybody has a nice little dream. But right now, I'm going for some winners on discount. And when you look around, Bones, there are winners on discount everywhere, right? So why would I dig in the ground and go get a struggle?
And I also agree with looking at the amount of cash they have compared to the debt they have. So that way you can know how long they would survive if this lockdown continues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then again, I am a day/swing trader, but I do look for long positions all the time, that's the way I keep my wealth, But, this time is just upside down world. It makes no sense. And that's what brings me to the beginning, what I said, which is I believe everyone is trading on emotion and everybody's bored. So they're basically playing poker online. And when that thing pops, I'm glad I'm going to have the cash on the side. It could be a W shape. It could be a U, but it's not going to be a V.
Yeah, but
that's my personal opinion.
I'm right there with you 100%, right? People are wondering, is this going to be, are we just going to go straight up from here? Are we going to go down? Are we going to take another dip, right? But you got to ask yourself the question. Nobody is questioning, are we going to rebound? Nobody's questioning that, right? Nobody's saying if we're going to rebound. Everybody's questioning when, right? So when I look at it, if I buy JP Morgan at $90 and next thing you know, the W shape happens, I go down to $70. And then I hold on to it by next summer, it's at $150. Yes, I could have got a better deal if I waited, but said that W didn't come.
Yeah.
Said we did a U shape. I don't want to.
I agree with a lot of stuff you say because you actually break it down and it helps me out because I'm just too, I deal with too many percentages rather than, the truth,
Oh, yeah. So do I think that people are at home? I don't think the general population has you're talking about the stock market is worth $27 trillion in market capitalization, right? So do I think Joe Blow is at home? It already is known that more than 49% of Americans don't even invest in the first place. They don't even invest in stocks, right? So now, people are becoming interested, but they're not throwing the house at it. They're like, oh, I may do a $500 here, buy a fractional share here or whatnot. So, no, I don't think they are moving the market or holding us up or anything like that.
Well, Prince, thank you for taking my call. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Awesome.
And hopefully you understood everything I said. It's just sometimes my mind works a little quicker than I talk. And
You're fine.
But,
you have a hard time talking to people. You know what? Maybe we're both weird together. That's what it is.
All right. Have a good night, sir.
You too. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Bones, thanks for calling me in from Florida. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the line down. Thank y'all for. How did y'all like the calls? How did y'all like doing the calls? Y'all let me know what y'all thought of the calls. Let me know what y'all thought of the calls. Y'all want me to open up the lines? I opened up the lines. We had 2 conversations come in today. We had a little struggle in the beginning with the first call. Let me put my other.
All right. Vibes. All right, let's go do some of y'all. Do I think people will fly this year in the fall? I mean, people are flying right now. I mean, people, but do I think we're going to get back into the flow of things? Woo! It better happen before September. Because if it don't happen by September, after September 30th, Delta, the airline industry, can do layoffs and furlough. The sweep accounts, that's usually where they're going to put your uninvested cash, if I'm understanding that right, Matt. So when you, like right now, I have a bunch of cash, not a bunch, but I have some cash sitting in my account that I haven't invested yet. So the sweep account is like, where do you want to put that money at while it's sitting there? Right. So I pick the one with the highest interest when it comes down to a sweep. Harloon Finance said, don't be scared to call, y'all call. I did 10% selling at 20. Oh, nice. You sold your calls at 26.5. I was a little bit more aggressive, and I sold mine at like 25 or whatnot. So that's cool. He said your next children's book should be the Struggle Bus. I put out a children's book every 2 years. So the next one, my last one came out June of last year. So my next one will be June of May of next summer. It'll be out. Oh, Garmin's earnings tomorrow. Okay. Big earnings season. Google's going to be out tomorrow. UCL is moving to ETN. They're closing all my shares on the 30th. Oh, UCO is moving to oil. No, I'm good when I'm good on oil, Tyrone. I think that's a dying industry. Ship is trending up. I don't know ship off the top of my head, Wayne. Bone said he liked it. Nice. Calls were awesome. Nice. Thanks for y'all for calling in. Max B said he liked the calls. The second call was clear. Yes, the first time I had some struggles to get through the first one, but I figured out what it was, and I think I got through it. Matt said, was amazing, very good. Thanks. Courtney and Roger calls were cool. He said the book Struggle Bus. You know what? I might do that one day. I might do a children's book called, Wesley Learns About the Struggle Bus. And it's gonna be a little bus with these stocks, and then logo gonna be in the bus. Ford is gonna be in there, JC Penney is gonna be in there, Sears is gonna be in there, it's probably gonna be West like that. I want to ride that bus. I'm like, son, and that bus gonna have like one tire, the windows burst out, it's gonna have no AC. Good. Okay, I'm glad y'all like the calls. This Buttercup said the calls were good, very good and informative call. Mike Dukes. Is that Mike? Are you from Waynesboro, Mike? Is it the Mike Dukes I think I know? Trucker says excellent, glad. Can you make a profit if you don't own the stock? Yes, if you buy a call option. Calls and puts. You don't have to buy the stock. You can buy the rights to buy the stock, a derivative. Where can we see who owns what company shares? Oh my God. Y'all ready for this, Lakeshore? Can anybody answer how can you tell who owns the shares of a company? Does anybody here already know that? Please don't let me down. LLJ, what's going on? He said he's waiting on the next dip. Calls are good. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm getting some now, and if we dip, I got enough cash to get some more. The question is, nobody is questioning the rebound. Everybody is questioning the dip. So it's 90%. We got a 98, 95% chance of us having a rebound. We got a 30% chance of having another dip. Tebow, Mike Dukes. Okay, what's going on? I figured I was looking at your profile a little bit. I was like, I don't know, do I know him? But I wasn't sure. Right? Mike Small's earnings. Yeah. Oh, okay. I can't remember what you're saying, Mike. I'm sorry about that. Look at there you go, LLJ. There you go. Insider activity. You look up in insider activity. Insider activity would tell you. No, it's not even. It's ownership. On the insider activity, go to ownership, and if you have E-Trade, it'll tell you right there. Majority of the companies who owns what. Now it won't tell you. Well, it will tell you the top 10 people that hold that company. You know what? Let's do it one more time. All right, I'm gonna take y'all to fish. If y'all ready to go fish and find out how can you tell who owns what company, type in "go fishing" in the description box, and we'll go fishing. Right, Miss Butterscotch, I like that. Wesley learns how to read financial reports. I like that. So you can tell when my wife is home because Wesley's never down here when my wife is home. She always keep him back for him. You know, when she's not at work, she always be like, "Dad is recording. Don't go down there." So, but when she ain't here, you see Wesley jumping through the city and everything. It's earnings. Who else said? Mistress T, do you have any advice about selling puts to collect premium on stocks that you have? But so you want to sell puts on the stocks that you own? Am I right about that, Miss T? Do you own these particular stocks? Michael, Ford is on the struggle bus. Man, I don't know. They walking now. You got Ford on the struggle bus. You're gonna have Sears going to be on the struggle bus. Any company, for everybody don't know what the struggle bus is, those are companies that are just struggling right now. Like Bones just called in and said, "You think I should get Hertz?" And I got it for $3. I'm not picking at you, Bones, but I'm telling the truth. I don't know. You think I got Hertz and Play? Now everybody know Dave and Buster's is closed. It probably ain't turned no profit. It's struggling. Hertz is struggling. It ain't got no bailout money. It ain't got nothing. And I'm not trying to get on to somebody who's struggling. I look at Southwest, they just got 3.3 billion. Delta Airlines, they got about 5 billion. You know, and I know who they are. I know we're gonna get back to flying. I just don't know when we're gonna get back to flying. Now, with people gonna be out there playing in the at the bar, hanging out at Dave and Buster's, I don't know. It'll slowly come back. And how you can measure that, ladies and gentlemen, you measure that on consumer sentiment. They put out a report called Consumer Sentiment, and that measures how the customers feel about buying. Right? And you can consumer sentiment is drop or consumer confidence sometimes it's called. Those reports come out, they will tell you how consumers feel about going back into the marketplace. Max Breeze, he's ready to go fish. Matt said he's ready to go fish. Bones, before I forget, offshore tankers is selling before it drops before you can. Before I forget, offshore tankers is a sell before it drops. Oh, offshore tankers. Okay. I don't have none of them. All right, everybody ready to go fish. Courtney says he's ready to go fish. Gil says he's ready to go fish. Miss Butterscotch said, find out who owns what, a proxy search? No, ma'am. We're going to show you how to go fish inside of E-Trade. Mike said he's ready to go fish. Everybody's ready. Okay, y'all ready to go fish. All right. So y'all get y'all tackle boxes. We're going to go fish. So what we're going to do, let me pull up on my other screen. I'm going to show you guys and girls on E-Trade how you can look up to see who owns what companies. Prince Dykes buying. I brought a couple shares of Google, right? I brought some Google today, and that doesn't mean I got some Southwest Airlines today. I am not moving the market, ladies and gentlemen. I am not moving the market. So we're going to look at it. Let me log in here. Let me get everything set up on my other screen. Let's look at Tesla. Bones called in. He spoke about Tesla. All right. Let me take this live off. I'm glad y'all like the numbers. I'm glad y'all like the call in because I'll let you guys and girls call in to talk. All right. I didn't advertise I was going to do phones because I didn't want trolls to be calling my line. Well, that's not my personal cell phone. That's my, what you call it, line. Where is it? Where is it at? Okay, here we go. All right, here we're finna go fish. And what I call about go fishing, for people who don't know what I'm talking about, is when I got into the world of investing, I had so many people would tell me stuff, but they would never show me how to do it. So what I mean by go fish is I can sit here and tell you what it is, but if I show you guys and girls, now y'all know how to fish, you know how to go get it yourself. You ain't even got to ask. Right here in Tesla. This is Tesla, ladies and gentlemen. Tesla's going for $760. Good God, I didn't know it went at $769. I thought it was at $713, but that's good for me. It's sitting in my portfolio somewhere. That's I ain't complaining. So here we go. We got Tesla. We want to know who's going to have LLJ. That's my guy. Dang, I'm slipping his name right now. I'm not just Jenkins. There you go, Jenkins. He just commented and he spoke about insider activity. You go over here to insider activity on Tesla. Right up on the insider activity, you go right here to ownership. Ownership. This will tell you right here, ladies and gentlemen, percentage owned. 75% of Tesla shares are owned by institutions. 75%. So out of all the shares that are outstanding, they have how many? They got 143 million shares of Tesla out there that people can buy and sell. Out of all of them, they're telling you that 75% of Tesla is owned by big boys, the institutions. Prince, what do you mean by institution? Investment managers, banks, trust, foundations, hedge funds, insurance companies, investment advisors, pension funds, private equity firms, sovereignty wealth funds, corporations, right? 24% is held by non-institutional investors. That's just the everyday person who's buying it. So the gray area is people at home. All this other stuff is the big boys. The blue is investment managers. Those are the ones who own majority of the shares. And you can see, guess what? The stock went up. Why did it go up? Percentage change in ownership, 4.5. Now you can struggle. Let's look at the top 10 owners of Tesla. The top 10 owners, you got Elon Musk's name right here. Vanguard owned a bunch. Capital investors. BlackRock, they pretty much own the world. Jameson, whoever these companies are, and it tells you how much they own. These are the people that owns majority of the stock, the top owners. These are the top 10% owners, right? These are the people that's really moving the market. Somebody at home, I own 2 shares of Tesla. That doesn't make Tesla shoot to the moon, right? Let's look at Southwest. Let's look at Southwest. We got Southwest. We go to insider activity. We go to ownership. 86% of Southwest shares are owned by institutions. 86 are owned by banks and trusts, hedge funds, insurance companies. Own majority of that. Who's the largest shareholder in Southwest? Berkshire Hathaway, aka Warren Buffett. That's my guy. Shout out to Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway. Great people over there, by the way. Berkshire Hathaway, they own majority of the shares. BlackRock, Boston Partners, Vanguard, they own a bunch of shares. T. Rowe, these are the people that own majority of the shares. So these, when they decide to buy and sell, that's when the stock really moves. Because when they're moving hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, in and out of a stock, right? You logging online right there today and getting $80 worth of Southwest Airlines is not moving the stock, right? That's the inside. Those are the people that are controlling the market. Okay, make sure I'm going back to what y'all got to say. So y'all put your tackle boxes up. He said he wants to go shark. You want to catch a shark, Bones? Ruby said go fish. Nice. Everybody was going to fish. All right. From 98 to 98. What did I base my... Oh, okay. Numbers. Or you base your numbers for 98 to 09 to 15 to 16. Okay. So there you go right there. That's how you can see who owns a particular company on the inside. All right. Going on the inside, those are the people you can see 75% of Tesla is owned by big boys, banks. Banks own that stuff. Banks, insurance companies, private equity firms. One day when I get a fund, hopefully, maybe one day I may get a fund, but one day when I grab a fund or whatnot, those are the people who really control the market. Also, you saw 85% of Southwest Airlines is owned by the big boys. Miss T, no, I don't own them, but I want to lower. I want at a lower price. Yes, you can. Why not buy a put? You can. Well, no. If you want to make, okay. If you okay, let me make sure I read your whole thing. No, I don't own them, but I want them at a lower price so I could sell the put, cash covered, and collect the premium with the option to exercise to get the stocks at a cheaper price if it goes down. So you just want to buy a put. So you want to buy a put on a particular stock in hopes that it no. So let me get this right. You got a stock. Let's say if Southwest Airlines at $30. You want to buy it at 25. If that's the truth, you want to buy it at 25. Well, no. I need you. I'd rather for you to call in and tell me because I'm trying to visualize what you're saying, Miss T. I want to understand a little bit more of what you got going on so I could better visualize what you're saying. I'm trying to understand what you're saying on that one. Lake Shore said, thank you. What's up, Freddie B from Langston, Illinois? What's going on, Freddie B? Thanks for checking in. For those who don't have E-Trade, you can find this information by looking at the company site. That's true. That's true, too. That's another option, too. Under the Investors Relations. Under the Investors Relations, you can see who is investing into their company, right? Good call there, Miss Butterscotch. Look at it. Appreciate that. All right. From Hampton Roads. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank y'all for another great episode. I got to get out of here. I thank y'all for everybody that tuned in, that caught it live. And I thank everybody who also, what I did today too, I brought calls on Apple. I finally got my calls on Apple. Apple had a nice little dip. I brought calls on Apple for $2.95 all the way into June of next year. So hopefully Apple goes up and beyond $2.95 by June. But anyway, I think you guys will do. Right? Lake Story said she would sell a put. She would sell a put, an uncovered put, because she don't own the shares. That's true, because she would sell a put. She's looking to, okay, so she don't own the stock. She don't own the stock, so she's doing an uncovered, selling the put to be able to sell the stock. Okay, because she's going to buy from a person at a particular price, then sell it she's going to buy from the market, then sell it back to that person for that price. Got you. If that's the case, you got it. Right? Very good. I thank y'all for that. So good night, everybody. Thank y'all for calling in. Thank for everybody for tuning in. Hope y'all got some out of this episode. I enjoyed it. Appreciate everybody for coming in. Should we get a stock at a discount? Good job at Lakeshore. Y'all have a great night. Thank you. Good night. Y'all have a good night. Good evening. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Well, maybe not tomorrow, but catch y'all on the next live. Peace. Y'all be out. So until the next video, podcast, cartoon, or whatever you see me do crazy around the globe. Peace. Be safe. I'm out, and thank you.